Hello and welcome back. This video is going to be focused about what to do during summer if you're a high school student who's, liking math and thinking about math every now and then. Now, before we do that though, I just want to say if you're a college student, it's fairly similar, although what you could do is just undergrad research or grad research depending on where you're at. But I think if you're at the grad level, you're probably not watching this and you got what you're doing. But yeah, so I think no matter where you're at, first things first is take some time off. Even if you're going to be taking summer classes, I do believe you should take a good week or two off and just have fun with friends, completely unwind, forget about school entirely. Just have fun, do whatever summer things you can do in your area. Maybe go to the beach. But yeah. So let's say you did that and now you're wondering, okay, I want to, do some math. Well, first thing I'd recommend is spending a few days just reviewing what you learned this last year. If you just finished Calc 1, go back and review some of the trickier stuff. And that applies to any class, but Calc is nice as it builds off of each other. Off of itself, I should say. Right? So yeah. Then you've done that. You took your trip. You reviewed a little bit, right? What now? Well, I think it falls into really just two classes, right? You either go, wow, this marker's already dead. You can either do summer classes, as I'm doing, right? Or self-teaching, which is what I did last summer, all right? So I'm going to start with summer classes. If you're a high school student, at least for where I'm from, summer classes were not to get ahead, but to make up what you lost. So it's a very different experience to how it is currently for me here at Dartmouth. But if you have the opportunity to take a class we can get ahead, it'll be nice because yes, it'll be very challenging because you're cramming it into about 10 or so weeks, where if you're a high school student, you're used to pretty much a whole year. But it is nice to just have it done in that amount of time. And I don't recommend it in high school particularly, because if you're going to cram all of calculus 1 or 2 or even 3 for that matter into that short of a time frame, you're not going to interact with the material as you should. It'll just be trying to just keep your head above the water and survive. But it is doable. I'm personally taking an abstract algebra class this summer and I'm enjoying it so far, even though it's not my kind of math, but it's fun. But yeah, you could just do that, and I do recommend still taking it easy over the summer and actually taking a mental break, because what you want to avoid is burnout. All right? And then our second option is self-teaching. Self-teaching is a lot more open-ended, so it could be a lot better or a lot worse depending on your self-discipline. Last summer, I personally self-taught myself about half of a typical linear algebra course. I used a mix of online lectures and books, but it was really fun. And then I took a linear algebra class here, and I enjoyed it a lot. I knew most of the material. Great time. So about those resources, my number one recommendation is finding a book online or for cheap online. I recommend websites like thriftbook.com. You can find them for less than $10 and they're fairly good condition. Another great option is YouTube. You can learn so much on YouTube. This channel is a great example of it. When I was doing my linear algebra course, what helped me the most was MIT's OpenCourseWave, which is essentially just an MIT lecture recorded and posted onto YouTube free of charge. Very little ads. It was great. I used Gilbert Strings in linear algebra class from 2008 or something. Pretty good. And you might be saying, 2008? I mean, I was born that year. What? That's old stuff. Yeah, the quality wasn't the visual quality wasn't the best of the video, but the educational quality was amazing, right? There's also things like Khan Academy and websites like that. Another great YouTuber that does this is the Organic Chemistry Tutor and 3 Blue 1 Brown. I believe, in my opinion, 3 Blue 1 Brown is more for like getting interested in topics, whereas Organic Chemistry Tutor is helping you actually do the topic. Now, the reason why I said self-teaching could be better or worse depending on your self-discipline is there's really two ways that it goes down, right? We have the first one. We have the first one where you stay on top of everything and you actually learn and keep pushing yourself and keeping a pace, right? And you don't have to do a full course. When I did this, I gave myself a month to just learn about half a course. And it was a bit fast paced, but I wasn't doing much that summer, right? Or then the other route is, for lack of a better term, you get lazy or behind, right? And then you slowly stop. And once you stop, it's hard to get the ball rolling again, right? So I think this personal path, if you try to self-teach, you stay on top of it and you actually learn like a set goal, is the best out of these three routes. This is going to hurt you more than you think, actually, compared to just enjoying the summer, because you're going to be a bit more brain fatigued compared to just having a fun summer. And then summer classes, like I mentioned, if you're a university student, it could be good. Just try to take it a little bit easier. If you're a high school student who's using them to get ahead, I recommend making sure you actually think about what you're learning and not just making sure you can move the numbers around in the right spots. And then, yeah, those are really the main three things you can do over the summer. I personally recommend it for high school students. Maybe you learn like one or two things, like learning what a limit is as an idea, if you're like about to take a calc class. So then you just enjoy your summer. Regardless of what you do, unless you like finish this right before your next school year starts, semester, quarter, whatever, I really also just recommend at the end wrapping up with like a review. Because if you start with a review and you end with a review, the information will be a lot more fresh in your mind, and your math class for like the first week or so should be a bit more relaxed and manageable. But yeah, that's just my advice as to what you can do during the summer as someone interested in math. I'll leave in the description below a link to OpenSec's like free books. They're free online. If you're interested in, I believe they have calculus, maybe a little bit more advanced math, but they also have physics and history books. So even if you're not just trying to do math, that'll be really a really good resource. So yeah, if this little yap session was any helpful, consider leaving a like, comments as to maybe some more like specific advice as to what you can do. And if this maybe, I don't know, motivate you to be like, maybe I am just gonna learn a wee bit of math this summer. Maybe consider subscribing. But yeah, other than that, have a good day.